So, still depressed, but it's a stable depression. It's not getting any worse, and because it's not getting any worse, it feels like it gets better because it doesn't change. So it's the new normal. I've spoken a bit about working with depression, but I think a big problem that depressive people have, well, that I have, is that once you leave the structure of work where you have a much greater incentive to put your best foot forward and to you know, keep yourself going, once you come home, that isn't there. My avoidance of dealing with depression, or what I realize now, as in my avoidance of dealing with depression, leads to a very closed view, and you tend to shy away from domestic tasks or personal hygiene or personal maintenance. You just want to distract yourself, and these tasks become too overwhelming to start, because you know it's just a mundane task and your mind is going to run rings around it. It doesn't want to do it. And now that my depression has kind of mellowed out, I'm like, yeah, I'm doing basic hygiene. Obviously, I'm not an animal. But you know, I'm not taking as much care in my appearance. And there's simple things like on my mirror in my bathroom, you know, I have written ears, floss, nails, as a reminder to, you know, keep check of the hygiene things that you know, I quite often just pass over. But I looked at it and yeah, I'd forgotten for 3 weeks. No flossing, no nail cutting, no ear cleaning. And then when I look in the mirror more, I haven't shaved. And even though I have been, which I must say is a great improvement, I have been minorly cleaning my apartment, generally tidying up after myself, doing the dishes multiple times during the day instead of leaving everything to like the next day. This helps. This definitely helps. You know, I used to be one of these people that definitely left all housework until it got to a point where it has to be done. And over the last couple of years, I've been, you know, paying attention to how people are with their cleanliness, you know, and they're, like I say, there's a balancing point. You know, there's people that really clean their places and their apartments, and this is too far the other way. You know, that's one of their distraction tools, one of their things that they use to avoid stuff. You know, and it becomes a unhealthy obsession. You know, and then there's people that are much like me, where they leave stuff to the last moment, where it's like, okay, I can't live like this anymore, I have to change something. You know, I think there is a lot to be said here. In the last month I've been, or maybe even longer, maybe a couple of months, you know, I've been really trying extra hard to find my balancing point of maintaining a organized and clean house, and monitoring how that relates to my mental state. Now, obviously, the last couple of weeks slipped into depression. So I look around and I'm like, okay, I need to vacuum. But everything else is pretty good. And it definitely does help with keeping a track of the mental state, in doing these little chores throughout the day. It's also reminding me that, hey, okay, I'm doing this for my house. I need to do this for myself. I also need to be doing regularly mental maintenance or mental cleaning or mental organizing to facilitate self-improvement. And yeah, so today I will vacuum my apartment. Yesterday I cleaned my bathroom. The day before I cleaned my kitchen, which is a much easier way of approaching it rather than spending half a day cleaning the whole goddamn place. Now, I live in 29 square meters, so, it's not exactly a big space, which is easy to clean, but it's also very easy to make dirty. I will also do some maintenance. Like, I don't need to. I'm quite comfortable being like this. Maybe a little bit too comfortable being like this. But I think it's important. I think it's, just gotta be careful again. It's also a balancing thing, You can go too far the other way and then you end up a little bit too hipstery, huh? Too much surface work, not enough deep work. I mean, that's one of the problems with being depressed. I don't want to bore you with depressive blah blah blah. It's boring to me, and I'm sure it's much more boring to everybody else. But then trying to project into the future and see what direction I'm heading in is smeared with a shit brush, because my depression is like very, nah, yeah, that's not gonna work, that won't work, that's all shit, this is all shit. And then when I look at my present moment, there's, can't help but end up disappearing into like this self-pity kind of bullshit. And then when I think about making a video about things that have happened in my past, I also end up painting this with a shit brush, and there's, I would like to do this future stuff and past stuff in a neutral headspace, because it's everything. It's really, you need to be neutral when looking back over your life, because there's a lot there. And if you are aware and you look back when you're feeling depressed and when you're feeling jubilant, where did that word come from? Your past changes, your history changes. So when you're in a neutral space, I feel like this is a great time to look back over your life and to try and get the most realistic view of your history. Yeah, I don't think I've got anything else really to add right now. Got a lot in my head. Washing machine of never-ending washing machine of thoughts. with pictures.
It's over.
Well, maintenance done, house is vacuumed, reorganized, everything is in its place, flossed, ears cleaned, nails cut. I don't feel much better, but it does feel nice that I made the effort, and that's something. And tomorrow when I go to work, I'll look nice, and people will think that I am not as depressed as I was last week, and they will treat me different, because that's just how people are. I really want chocolate. 2 days now, no chocolate. Honestly, depression sucks. What are you gonna do about it? We'll figure it out.
Now it's over.